Hey, welcome to Cooking Something Good. Hey, there is an amazing, and trust me here, folks, it is an absolutely amazing restaurant in Cambridge, Massachusetts. It's called Harvest. And, when you hear the word harvest, in my mind, and understand that I came from the Twinkie generation, but my mind, you think healthy. And healthy eating or healthy food, for still too many Americans, they think tofu with nothing on it, plain organic yogurt, covered with twigs and grass. That's so 1973, my friends. So 1973. Hold on, I got to turn this off. I apologize, folks. I was supposed to turn that. It's on my little list. I get a list when I'm by myself. And if I don't follow the list, I'm in big trouble. Ugh. Anyway, that's like November of 73. If you're one of those people, take it from me. Harvest is one of my new favorite restaurant. We're going to have two guests on today. A little bit later, we're going to have on Tab Volpe. He is the executive pastry chef at Harvest. He is in what I consider to be the most important industry in the entire world. More important technology, more important than healthcare, more important than anything. He's in the pastry industry. So we're going to have him on in a bit. But first, I'd like to welcome Chef Nick Deutermeyer. He is the executive head chef at Harvest. Chef, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, I want to start out by saying that I was blown away by your food. And that doesn't happen often. I because I do this show, I talk to a lot of restaurants all over the world. And I go to a lot of restaurants, and I tell my listeners, hey, this is a great restaurant. This is a good restaurant. It's an okay restaurant. It's pretty good. I rarely say it's blown away. It's a category that's near and dear to me. So congratulations to you and your staff on an amazing job you do at Harvest.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It's been difficult coming back since the pandemic, but I have a really great team in place. And everyone's working really hard.
Yeah, and I was impressed all the way around. Your service was
Uh-oh.
great. Hey, you're frozen. It's like a snapshot. Look great. I'll send it to your loved ones. They'll love that. Hey, healthy eating. I open up with the kind of a healthy eating thing. And healthy eating, such a generic term. It means different things to different people. You hear people say, well, me and my husband, we eat very healthy now. And that doesn't really matter if after they've eaten healthy, whatever they think healthy is, they smoke 4 packs of cool non-filters and chug down 2 bottles of tequila, right? Healthy lifestyle and healthy eating. But to you, what does healthy eating mean? Because I know it's different to everybody.
So I would say like a pet peeve of mine is that there is a ton of misinformation out there about sort of what is good and how to live like a healthful life. And so I try to sort of counter that by saying it's like the word healthy doesn't have a whole lot of meaning. So I try to teach people about eating like wholesome is kind of what I say. And it's like about eating a balance of real food, things that are not processed, and you have to have a balance between sort of your, protein. I feel like for the most part, those people don't get enough vegetables. Fad, lifestyle changes are great or have a whole lot of longevity. I think it comes down to a balance of vegetables versus like fat and sugar.
This sounds simplex, but my grandmothers were one from Poland and one from Italy, and they used to tell me lots of colors, small portions and lots of colors.
Lots of colors. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to do it. And, at our restaurant here, it's like we're really focused on seasonality.
Yeah.
And yes, while that does affect proteins, I mean, mostly we're thinking about fruits and vegetables. And if you're eating these things while they're in season and while they taste good, it's not a chore to do it.
Yeah. That's a good point. Like people still say to me, you can't eat pork chops, you'll die from
okay, you're still there.
Yeah, I can see you with a big smile on your face. You look great, chef. Again, you look great with that smile. Your loved ones are gonna love the smile. Hey, anyway.
10 minutes.
So, I still have people say, and I started it earlier, don't eat pork, you'll die of trichinosis. And if first of all, you're not going to get trichinosis in America if you do something went terribly wrong, terribly wrong. And you can even eat it medium, right? You don't have to kill the thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what we suggest now for pork, medium.
Yeah, I mean, I made it with a sweet and sour bell pepper, and it was as simple as that. With a red wine vinegar, just reduced a little. It's simple. It was good. I don't eat that every day, but once in a while, it's great. So, and you're really focused on like you said, on freshly sourced seasonal ingredients, and that's what I was really impressed with. That very much impressed with that. Next question. You ready for question number 2? Because it's all about you. Let's talk about you a little bit.
Yes.
It's my second after me. It's my second
Great.
favorite.
Okay.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about your style, your background. I mean, you've got to this level that is unique, that is elite. How did you get here? I mean, what was the process to get where you are now?
Well, for me, like, my roots, I mean, I think most chefs talk about their biggest influence being from where they came from and where they grew up. And I grew up on a small family farm in eastern Iowa. We raised dairy and we had pork, and then our neighbors had chickens, and we raised our own vegetables. And so that's kind of where I come from mostly, and sort of, being heavily influenced by my mom, of course. Like most chefs, I think it's like what you ate growing up is the most comfort, and so a lot of times I base things off of that, and kind of went from there. I went to culinary school up in Vermont at New England Culinary Institute that really focuses heavily on buying local and working with farmers, and sort of the importance of rediscovering these ingredients that are not mass produced and are not being able to ship, and just seeing like simple food like that, how much of a difference it makes when it's fresh, and when you're supporting your neighbors who are able to grow these things that maybe they can't put into a box and ship across the country.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I ended up in Boston after culinary school, and have been able to work for companies and work with people who have really sort of fostered that. Thank you. Have fostered that, or who that those things are also important too. So we've been sort of blessed to be able to be in an environment that allows us to do that.
I hear that so often. My mother, my grandfather, my grandmother, people who learn, great chefs like yourself who learn so much in the kitchen. So I like that. I like that kind of story. This is a tough question, the next one. But so many chefs, even amateur cooks, people like me, sometimes I do it and I hate myself for it, but we're having guests over, and I even want to say it, I'm making a lamb and a cherry reduction with oyster mushrooms and, orange. It's ridiculous. I get into 7,000 different things I'm going to throw into a dish. People like me, or people who don't have a lot of culinary school background and not a lot of kitchen background, but want to be cooks or want to be chefs or just amateur hacks like me, what advice do you give people like me about learning to learn by keeping it simple? I don't know if that question makes any sense to you, but
I will. So I know I see, especially with sort of um, intro level cooks in professional kitchens, especially sort of when you're getting into that point in your career when you're able to start designing dishes, is that I feel like the common thought is that more is better. The more complicated, maybe the more ingredients, maybe the more unusual the combination, it's more like sort of avant-garde and sort of like high end, but that's not always the case. And many times it takes a lot more courage to sort of go with less and work with technique to let those ingredients shine on their own, instead of sort of like piling things on top of them to the point where things get muddled up along the way. So my suggestion would be, to sort of buy the best tasting products that you can, and then sort of let those products shine. That whole sort of concept that came from Chez Panisse and California, I think is a really good sort of set of rules to go by these days.
Yeah, and I got to tell the people when they do go to harvest, and you really should. I had the Tagliatelle Primavera, and that's a prime example of 4 ingredients. And I swear to God, I wanted to go off and I wanted to go cry in a corner in like this gastronomic fit of joy after I ate it. And you're talking about four ingredients. It was that good. Hey, we're gonna move along. It's time for a little game we play, and we're gonna have you help us out here. We call it either you know it or you don't. And if you know all 3 answers to the next 3 questions, you will allow a lucky listener to win a $25 gift card to Harvest Restaurant. And if you get even one wrong, then unfortunately, I am going to have to break into someone's house and steal $25 from their house, which is going to be difficult because I've never broken into a house before. And a lot of people don't carry cash anymore, and I don't know how to use Venmo. So please try to get these right. But these are tough questions. So tell me when you're ready. Okay. Question number 1. Question number 1. You ready? Dyersville is a small town in what American state?
Oh, that's my hometown in Iowa. I was just there.
All right, 1 for 1. Good job, chef. Second question. You ready?
Yes.
And take your time. Think about this. The population of Dyersville, Iowa is A, approximately 13 million people, or B, exactly 4,477 people, according to the 2020 United States Census.
That's definitely B, except maybe on the weekend when the MLB game is playing at Field of Dreams.
Oh my God.
I feel population to about 5 times that.
Well, you absolutely screwed me on the segue, but you still have to answer question number 3 correctly. Chef Nick Deutermeyer from Harvest, a fantastic restaurant in Cambridge. This is the 3rd question. Get it right, and one lucky listener wins a $25 gift certificate to your restaurant, Harvest, there in Harvard Square. The movie Field of Dreams, starring, amongst others, legendary actors James Earl Jones and Burt Lancaster, was filmed in what town in Iowa?
Oh, yeah, that's filmed about, I don't know, 2 miles from my parents' farm in Dyersville, Iowa.
That's all 3, but because you kind of ruined my segue, you're going to have to answer a 4th question. And this might be a little harder. Okay? Bill Bryson, author, is from what American state?
Oh, Bill Bryson is from Des Moines, Iowa.
All right. Hey, we got a lucky winner.
What a great book. I love that book, A Walk in the Woods.
Oh, I love all his books. I'm a big fan. He if you get a chance, you should read I think it's called From a Sunburnt Country. And it's all about Australia being the most dangerous place on the planet. Funny, great, interesting, informative.
I haven't read that one.
Oh, it's a great book. He talks about the Prime Minister, Harold Holt, in 1966 or 67, was walking with his security guard and decided he was going to wade into the water, take a quick swim, and the current took him out and he drowned. They never found his body. His wife and the security team are right there, like waist deep. The currents are so bad. They have like 92% of all the deadly animals in the world are deadliest. They're from Australia. Hey, Dyersville is the place to be. That's the place to be. Chef,
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us. I got to tell you, if you folks get a chance, get out to this harvest. If you're in the greater Boston, and I even said to someone when I got back, I said, and when I mean the Boston general area, I mean if you're anywhere between Buffalo Grove, Illinois, and Nova Scotia, stop into Harvest because it's really that good. It's a special place, and we really appreciate you guys coming on with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Come by, say hi to me on Expo. I'm there, almost every day.
Yeah, next time I'm in the general area. I'm about an hour and 45 minutes away up here in New Hampshire. Hey, thanks for joining us. We're going to take one quick break, and then I'm going to come back. And during the break, I'm going to think about all the things I ate at Harvest. And we're going to have on Andrea Jorgensen from Seattle to Sunapee, and we're also going to have on, his name is Tab Volpe, and he's the executive pastry chef. He works with Chef Nick, and let me tell you, folks, the desserts they're crazy too. Stick around, right back with more of cooking something good right after this one. Hey, welcome to the Jones Barbecue Studio for another episode of Seattle to Sunapee. Andrea Jorgensen, Seattle, Washington. Dave Dusseau, Sunapee, New Hampshire. Seattle, Sunapee.
Hi, David.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic. Fantastic. On the day we're recording this, it's going to be about a week away from the show, but it's a sad day because we've just learned that Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen of England, has passed away. What an amazing woman with an incredible legacy she leaves, and handled herself with poise and dignity and what has to be one of the most difficult jobs you can imagine.
Right.
So it's kind of
Right.
sad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sad by it.
I am
I
too.
mean, I read, there's a whole bunch of information that came out, and stuff like that. And like, for instance, I didn't know that Charles would immediately be king. And I also didn't know that there was like a mandatory 10-day waiting period between the death of a monarch and the funeral. Because she has to lie in state and do like all that sort of thing.
Yep.
So she's gonna lie in state where's Balmoral? Scotland?
Yes.
She's gonna lie in state in Scotland.
Which was her favorite place in the world.
Which is like, may we all die in our beds in our favorite place, surrounded by people who love us. Like, if there ever was a way to go, that's it,
I want to be like 97 and have a big thing of foie gras that I just finished. That's what I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
Maybe not in bed then.
I don't know. I mean, who cares? If it's foie gras,
why not?
like a seared foie gras with like a cranberry reduction. That's not a bad way.
That's doable, yeah.
Yeah. Somebody asked me once, what do you want to be when you die? I said, I want to be full, right?
There you go.
I want to be full. And what do you want to be in the afterlife? I want to be Mrs. Dusseau's second husband. Those are my two goals.
There you go.
Yes. It's a stock answer. It's a good
It's a good answer. Yeah.
It's a good answer.
You can't go wrong with that.
Well, bad news to good news, because you are joining us, and today we're talking about something that I love, love, love. I've had this weird love affair with it ever since I was a little kid. We're talking
Really? We're talking about broccoli. Oh my God, I hated it as a kid. Like
really?
most kids, like it's a green vegetable, right? So bleh.
Oh, I love
But the only way my mom could get me to eat it is if she covered it with like an inch of cheddar cheese.
Well, then you're just eating cheddar cheese.
Well, hey,
broccoli.
There are worse things to do. But like, that was when I was growing up, it wasn't like, the Food Network and stuff like that. So like my mom didn't know that like you weren't supposed to overcook veggies, like they were supposed to be al dente, and they're, like that sort of thing. So now that I cook my own veggies and like, we cook them that way. I'm still not a huge fan. I do eat it. I just actually a couple of weeks ago made a they called it, and I'll defer to you because you're Italian. They called it an Italian broccoli soup, which you basically just like boil the heck out of the broccoli and then mash it up and put like a bunch of Parmesan cheese and orzo and stuff in the soup.
I make, and it's funny that when you told me what the subject matter was today. I love broccoli soup.
Oh, you do?
Absolutely love broccoli soup. But one of the best broccoli soups I've ever had, and it's probably the best broccoli soup I make, is I use broccoli, salt, and water.
Really?
And that's it. I drizzle a little olive oil over it.
Yeah, I put some olive oil on top when I was done. Yeah.
So you just cut you cut your spears off, right? All around. You hold it upside down.
Yeah.
Spears all around.
Yeah.
And you get some boiling water, well salted. Season your water.
Yeah.
The point where you taste it, you can taste it. And you want to boil that, cover it up so it stays boiling as rapidly as possible. And you want it to be al dente. You want it to, if you cut a knife through, it goes through pretty easy. And you can kind of, if you did it against the side of the pan, when it went through, it kind of would make a tapping sound on the pan.
Yep.
And you want to strain it, right? You want to drain that out, but you want to drain and save the water.
Right.
And you do that. And then you add a little more salt. You put it back into your pan. Actually, you put it in a blender, and you add about half the water, which is
broccoli water.
It's broccoli. It's broccoli water. It's
yeah.
It's broccoli stock.
Yeah.
What you got. Sounds like a concert event for vegetarians. This week at Broccoli Stock, we've got, doesn't it? It does. It sounds like it's like Woodstock, broccoli stock. They've got all these stocks now.
Oh,
Broccoli stock, yeah. And they
Okay.
sit around, they eat broccoli, they eat veggies, they eat broccoli, and that might get a little stinky.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, you just say about
Mm.
half the water, put it in, and put your cover on your blender and give it a few, and then let it go.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, you're done. You can take a little goat cheese, put it on the bottom of your bowl,
Yeah.
and easy as that.
Huh.
Maybe some kind of a walnut on the bottom too. And you just
Oh yeah, drizzle a pesto in there or
yeah,
something.
it's another. I've been making that for a long time, and I think the walnut. And I'm trying to remember. I think I saw, and I love Gordon Ramsay. I think I saw him use the walnuts.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I copied that from him. But it's great. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's it. And
Yeah.
I make a really good creamed broccoli soup too with shallots that are cooked down and
Mm,
double heavy cream.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this and with the goat cheese, and it's just that's all you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the secret is, and you met Albie in the
Yeah.
north end of Boston. Yeah, Albie always says when you buy your broccoli, make sure that they're very green, not floury, that it's still tight. You can't pull it apart easily. They're not loose. That's the only way to cook broccoli.
There you go.
Yep. And it comes out even greener. The water comes out green, and it's just
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it. Now, basically, I mean, you got the goat cheese and maybe the walnut on the bottom, a little drizzle of some extra virgin olive oil on top. That gives it a nice shine too,
Yeah.
But I mean, that's it, and I haven't made that in probably 5 years.
Oh,
And
really?
next or this coming Sunday, which has already happened. It's weird when you pre-record a show, right? So this coming Sunday, I'm like we're in a time machine.
Yeah.
But has already happened is opening day of football.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna make broccoli soup, and I'm gonna make Hamburg sliders,
Oh, there you
hamburger and cheeseburger sliders. I'm gonna make it with pancetta. I'll make my own hamburgers. I'll use pork and beef.
go. Okay.
You need a little pork. You need a little bit of that fat in there to keep them moist.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing this. What thing?
I don't know.
But I mean, you don't eat broccoli, but it's
I mean, I do eat broccoli. I actually made, oh God, again, it's probably been 5 years, but I made a really good broccoli salad one time. I think most people, like when you get to like the picnic broccoli salad, it's
yeah.
got like that mayonnaise and apple cider vinegar and a little bit of sugar on. I mean, that's good. Don't get me wrong. Like
One of my
that's really
favorites.
good. But um something about like sweet and broccoli like just doesn't compute for me. Like that's delicious, don't get me wrong, but it's just like for me when I cook it myself, like it's got to be savory. Like I've done it where you you put like a thin layer of Parmesan cheese on the bottom of like a cookie sheet and you layer your broccoli on top, and then as the cheese cooks and gets crispy, it adheres to your broccoli, and then when you take it off, it's like crunchy on there. That's delicious.
I like that. Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a no lose right there.
Yeah.
I also like it sauteed. I'll do like a fall salad with farro and broccoli and some roasted butternut squash and throw in some pepitas, olive oil, stuff like that, and put that together as like a side for a dinner or something.
You ever done
So it
have you ever
really
done
just depends.
have you ever done a buffalo? A lot of people do cauliflower with a hot buffalo sauce.
Oh, I make Mike a cauliflower mac and cheese all the time.
Yeah, I do the
Yeah.
same with broccoli. But I
Oh, do you?
yeah, I use buffalo chicken and I just sear it under so I'll parboil it
Uh-huh.
and then I'll get it into cold water to get it stop cooking.
Yep.
And then I'll put just some buffalo sauce and I'll put it underneath the broiler
Okay.
and just let that crispy up. It's got a crunch to it. It's got that spice to it. Again, I'll add pancetta to that. It's kind of the same I do with like Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts and broccoli are the same family.
I thought Brussels sprouts related to the cabbage? Are they part of the broccoli family?
Cabbage too.
Oh, they're all part of the thing.
All
All part
part
of
of
the
the,
same.
it's the same family.
Okay.
Talk about dysfunctional. I mean, it's funny because those are three things, and I'm
That
part
like kids hate.
kids hate, but my kids hate cabbage,
Yeah.
but I'm part Polish. I grew up with those three things, and
Oh,
they always like
galumpkies.
Gołąbki, and yeah.
Oh.
So and my kids hate them,
Oh, really?
hate them. Yeah, my wife's Polish. Her last name is
Okay.
Janek, like Janek Kabasa,
Oh, okay.
and her. But Brussels sprouts again with simple. You can make Brussels sprouts. Just cut them in half. I'm in a bacon mood, but pancetta,
Mm.
a little bit of olive oil, and then at the end add in maybe some balsamic vinegar,
There you go.
and then I'll put some. Don't tell my doctor. But I'll
Maple
put
syrup.
maple syrup on
I
top.
knew that was coming.
And so, but you get that acidy vinegar with the sweet with the maple
Mhm.
syrup, and then that salty of the pancetta or the bacon, which fatty bacon, either one you want to use. And
Yeah.
those three combinations really come together perfectly.
Yeah.
They come
Yeah.
together perfectly, and it's one of those things that I always say, I think that's really good for you. I really do, because it makes me so happy. And if you're
It has to
happy,
be good for you.
happy's health and happiness. I mean, I say it all the time jokingly, they go hand in hand.
Mhm.
I mean, you ever see a big, huge, fat Eastern European guy? He's 112 years old, shoving food into his mouth that he loves.
Yeah.
You know why he's 112 years old? A, I made the whole thing up, and B, because he's happy.
There you go.
But I don't think I'm normal, because I don't think cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and broccoli, most people are like lovers of those three things. And I am.
If someone is, please email in because we want to know this.
Yeah.
We're taking a poll.
Yeah, go to YouTube down here. First of all, please subscribe, like and subscribe, right? We'd like you to do that. And that's what they say in all my people keep
Hit the like button.
you gotta
Subscribe.
hit the like button and subscribe.
Yeah, yeah.
And I always forget. So please hit the like button and subscribe. But for me, I mean, I love cabbage. Love cabbage. I like it with vinegar. I like it. I make a great cabbage. I can make a cabbage and broccoli salad. Sometimes I use yogurt, apple cider vinegar, salt and pepper, and chives.
Okay.
That's it. And it makes a nice light. If you have to bring an appetizer or something, it's simple to make.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Snip, 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 bump, yogurt, bump, apple cider vinegar, maybe a little sugar in there again.
Of course.
Yeah. Sometimes I put honey in that one too. And it has this nice, again, you get those three things. A lot of times if the vegetarians, and I honestly, this is so pathetic. I don't know the difference between a vegetarian and a vegan.
A vegetarian, from what I understand, just doesn't eat meat or animal products. Like
The vegan has to have their
the
vegetables.
vegan,
They have to have their vegetables cut by a rabbi. Is that it? And that's not it? No.
a vegan doesn't do any animal products. No eggs, no cheese, like no dairy. I don't know how it works. I remember reading an article one time about how some vegans even boycott honey because it's technically an animal product. And I was like, I don't know.
I want to know that. Is honey, if you're watching, please
Please let us
comment
know.
down below
Yeah.
and let us know. Is honey
It's
honey
not
something a
made
vegan?
from animals or something
Yeah, it
living,
is.
but it's made by. No, it's
By
made
animals.
by, but it's not made from them. Like it's not an animal product in the same way that like an egg or a steak would be.
How about butter? Butter's not an animal.
It's made from the milk.
Yeah, but honey's made from the bee.
And that's why I don't know.
I think it'd be the same thing. Milk should be okay then. If honey's okay, milk's okay. If honey's not okay, milk shouldn't be okay.
I don't know. Or then you get into like like bees, obviously, there's they're out on their own, they're doing their thing. People are real big into conserving the bees, but then you get like the cows that have like a maybe not so humane you get into like the humane issues. Like are the dairy cows being treated fairly and blah blah blah. Like that's all.
But the bees, who can eat them bees? If they're being Aren't you helping the bees by?
I would think. I don't know. I don't know.
I
I
honestly
don't know
don't
how
know.
that
I
works.
honestly
I
don't
love
know.
honey. I eat my body weight in honey pretty much every year. Oh, love honey. We must have 15 different kinds of honey in my cabinet.
Okay, in fairness, first of all, I have people who, and I always thought they were crazy, who religiously, I got a guy up the street from me, religiously, I mean, have like a quarter cup of honey, and 3 tablespoons of honey a day, and have never been sick.
Mhm.
And at first I thought they were nuts. And then maybe they have been sick and they lie about it. But this guy, I don't think he's ever missed a day of work. And he eats, I think he has 3 tablespoons of honey every morning.
I usually, when we lived in New Hampshire, with like seasonal allergies during the spring and stuff, I got some local honey from like the same area.
Yeah.
And I started eating a tablespoon of honey. I think it was like November. I started eating every single day, like a tablespoon of local honey from the local wildflowers, that sort of thing. I had no spring allergies the next year.
See,
None.
maybe
And
that's
I
it.
usually get like 6 weeks of like, I can't put my contacts in because like my eyes are like, swollen and watering and crap like that. I didn't have any allergies that year.
So maybe it's true.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's, do you own a wolf?
The neighbors have a Great Dane.
Why do they get the title of great? It's a
Izzy wants to
great-
ride it.
It's because it's big. It's a Great Dane. What if it's a
Is there a
Dane?
Dane?
What if it's a Dane that's not very bright and always walks into things? Is it a dumb Dane? Is it a
Well, from what I
below
understand,
average Dane?
Great Danes aren't super bright anyway, so
So why are they so great?
I don't know.
I mean,
Because it's a stature thing. They are tall. They are
well, they should call them
great.
tall Danes. I tell you, it's not great when you got to carry a poop bag that's this big as opposed to my little dog, this one, right? Nothing's so great about it.
That's why I don't have a dog.
Oh my God. I love dogs, though. I love dogs. Absolutely love them. Hey, we've got a new segment. It's going to be starting up a couple of weeks, and it's called
Yeah.
Boston Concierge with a very nice gentleman, Joe, whose last name for the Rondina.
Rondina. Good job.
Rondina, I got it right.
Yay.
And I think people are going to like it. Joe is basically going to act as a concierge for people going to the Boston area. He has an incredible list of contacts. He's a professionally trained chef, college educated chef. He knows a lot about food. He knows a lot about people. He's just a really nice guy, and I think people are going to enjoy it. He's going to start by doing 4 or 5 episodes with me,
Okay.
and then he'll be on his own. So
Awesome.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And for people going to Boston, they're going to have all kinds of great connections. He's going to all kinds of gift certificates we're going to sell to restaurants out in Boston, and deals that he's putting together with some of these different places to get people into their locations. And I'm really excited.
That's awesome.
Boston
He's a good guy
Concierge.
for that.
We're calling it Boston Concierge.
All right.
You know, concierge I can't spell.
Why not?
I can't spell concierge. I am a terrible speller.
That is true.
Yeah, well, I have a little bit of dyslexia, a little bit of ADHD. It's so bad that I call it AD because I can't remember the rest. I had to stop right there. But no,
Yeah.
I'm excited about that segment, and not just food. It's food, where to go to catch a show, a sporting events, a nice walk with your significant other, maybe a place to go in and have a few cocktails. The best hotels, the little cool niche hotels, a lot of different things that we'll be talking about. I think it's going to be fun.
Awesome.
All part of our great team, and thanks to you because he's a long-time friend of yours.
He is. Yeah. He and I work together.
I just met him recently, so thank you for getting Joe. Thank you for being Andrea Jorgensen. Oh my God. And everything else as well? Everything's out good on the website?
Yes, we had a very busy week. My oldest had his first day of kindergarten.
Did you cry?
And his first bus ride. I did. I cried as the bus was pulling away. I started to tear up. And I was like, no, I can do this. I can do this. And then I got a text message at like 11:30 that the school was on lockdown because there was a dangerous person in the area. And I was like, oh no, I can't do this.
Just 15.
But everything's okay. They sent us another one saying it was all right. It was resolved. I was like, oh my God. He had no idea. He's a fantastic kindergarten teacher. I don't know how long she's been doing it, but she just had them play quietly, stuff like that. Like they had no idea any of it, which was great.
13 years to go. 13 years to go. And it's really 17. It never ends.
Right. And
having
then my youngest had her first day of preschool on
so the tears start to
Tuesday.
flow again.
Yeah, so she was only 2 hours, and I was like, she's very independent, so I was like, oh, there's not gonna be any problem here. But I still was not prepared for her to like. I took her out of the stroller. I put her back. I like gave her her backpack. She put it in her cubby, took her shoes off, and ran inside. Like I didn't get a goodbye. I didn't get a see you later, mom. Like
I
nothing. I had to
know.
like duck my head in and be like, hey,
That's
bye. Like I'm leaving.
that's a good sign though. That's a
Oh,
very
it was
good
great.
sign.
Yeah, no, it was great. And even this morning, she's like, bye, mom. I'll see you later, and like ran inside. So
I remember
I'm
those
not worried
days
about
when there
her
were
at all.
certain parents where they had like their own catapults where they would run back and the kid would be in front of them and they had to grab them, and outside they'd have this big like the medieval catapults, and they'd strap their kids into the catapults and
Launch 'em
wind it
in.
up, so and then they'd take the rope and they'd cut the rope and the kid go flying through the window, through the classroom, sometimes right through the wall into the classroom, and that's how they got him to stay. Those kids turned out to be stupid because they got concussed so
I
many.
was gonna say they got head trauma. Yeah, that's probably not
So,
a good
so
idea.
many times concussed. No, I was pretty lucky. My kids were pretty much always happy to go.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. Ro was a little nervous about the bus, but we have a family down the street that's got some older kids, and
Yeah,
so one of the little girls was like, "Oh, I'll sit with them." So like, sure enough, like she threw her arm around him the first day and was like, "Hey, you ready to ride the bus?" And like sat with him and everything, introduced him to all of her friends, and then
that's
today,
perfect. Perfect.
yeah, and today they were like walking down the street, and she was like, "Hey, buddy," and so like he held her hand the whole way, and I was
Oh, that's so cute. All right,
yeah, it's
let's
so
talk
cute.
about before I let you go, let's talk
Yes.
about the lunches. What are you doing for lunches for these kids?
So Ro is super picky. His first day, I sent him per his request, hash brown waffles
Yeah.
and sour cream, and did up some oranges, some little clementines, and a peanut butter bar. That's what he took to school. And he didn't eat any of it. He ate his peanut butter bar, so he ate it
That
for dinner
happens
that night.
happens
Yeah.
all the time.
He
All
must
the
have been just
time.
too excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I sent him. And then today, because I know he's again probably going to be too excited to eat, I just sent him with carrots and ranch dressing and a granola bar and an applesauce pouch and some cheese, like some little cheese bites.
You know, I give you a little tip as a long time stay-at-home dad with a lot of experience. So it's not that I'm I'm wiser, but I'm not smarter. Let's put it that way. But this really helped, especially my youngest, because all the time I'd be bringing the food back. And I mean, what do you want? I don't know. You want, I'll make you the mac and cheese I make you like so much. Okay. Never eat it. So what I did was I went to the little local store and I got one of those Bic lighters. And then I went down and I know a friend of mine who smokes a lot of marijuana, and I brought a marijuana cigarette. So I put those two things into the lunchbox with a giant bag of Doritos. So she would get there, light the joint, smoke it, get stoned, and then eat the Doritos. So I knew she had something in her belly.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, she was in and out
No
of
phone calls from CPS for that.
no, she was in and out of rehab for about 14 years, but no,
I'm sure.
I'm just
Yeah, no
kidding.
kidding.
But a couple of times, and those days where you're it's the first couple of days, so there's still that, hey, this is great. After a while, that you get through that stretch where it's 9 degrees out and they're not eating and everybody's miserable, and it gets dark when you wake up, and then it gets dark after you drop them off from school. It's like there's no light and you're going crazy. Those kind of thoughts go through your head
Oh,
sometimes.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It's like, huh.
I think this might be an option. Yeah, they serve pizza every Friday in the cafeteria. So I think he's gonna get pizza every Friday. I think
If I ever
that's
come
gonna
out
be
there,
my break.
if I
Is
ever get out
Fridays.
there, I'm gonna go to that school. I'll spend a day with him. I love pizza. I love thin crust. I love all kind of pizza. I love
Mhm.
sometimes I like a nice like thick New York style. I like medium. I like it all, but I really like good
And gross pizza.
thin crust pizza. Really, it's
Yeah.
something that's almost like an artist makes. It's like it not only does it present so beautifully, but I like the crunch. I like the fresh. I like fig on my pizza.
Oh yeah. I got some figs in the fridge. I was actually thinking of making a pizza tonight with them on it.
I love figs. Figs and maybe some
Figs, prosciutto, balsamic glaze.
or some burrata on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Open it up.
Yeah.
A little bit of
Yeah.
a little bit of basil. I love that kind of thing. I love linguiça. I love to put linguiça
Oh
in my pizza.
yeah, I love Greek.
I like all kinds of pizza.
Chorizo, all of it.
Oh, I know chorizo. I make a chorizo scrambled egg, which is just so simple. I just take onions and I dice them up and I put them in and I just cook them up and then I just add, or I start with the chorizo rather, and I cut that up and then I add the onions and they take on that flavor and
The
that color.
flavor because of the
Yep.
fat. Yep.
And then I'll just put it over rice with some sour cream.
Oh, there you go.
So simple, so simple.
Yeah.
But my family's not a big, nobody in my family loves chorizo, so, and they don't like the smell of it.
Oh, really? That's the best part.
I know, it's a little
Oh,
disappointing.
I love this. The smoked paprika. I love this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
And it's another thing. My two of my three, the women in my house.
Mm,
See
good job.
how
Yeah.
good I am at this.
Yeah, that was good.
They cannot stand smoked paprika. It is one of my favorite things on the
Oh,
planet.
I put it in everything.
So,
Oh man.
hey, by the way, I keep saying before I let you go, we had a great show last week. I don't know if you caught the show last week with Finn O'Connor. And Finn
Oh,
O'Connor,
I've not seen that one
you
yet.
got to see it. It's a great
We've
show.
had company, so I've been busy, but
Yeah, I did, but this guy, 22 years old, graduated with my youngest daughter, got a mechanical engineering degree at UMass. The whole time he was a professional cyclocross racer.
ooh,
Retired from that. He came on the show and talked about fueling your body for professional athletes. It's really it's a highly intensive sport. He talked about how to fuel, it's all about timing and as much it is about calories in, calories out, it's about fatigue and how to manage fatigue and how to
Yeah.
manage hydration. Basically, they drink tons of water the day before and up to the race, but during the race, which is a long race, they don't drink any water because there's no time. But he's retired from that. And he is actually a master craftsman as well as a mechanical engineer. And he's rented a place and he is buying up old ambulances and he converts them into mini RVs and into food trucks, among
That's
other
so
things.
cool.
Yeah. So if anybody out there wants a food truck for like your local college sports team tailgater or they're tailgaters or want a food truck to go to parties with friends, it's pretty cool what he does.
That's awesome.
So if you know anybody on the West Coast, because he'll sell them anywhere.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Really bright. 22 years old.
Wow.
And he's already done so much, and I was really impressed with him. I think it's
That's cool.
episode 87. So if you go to YouTube and go to episode 87,
87. Okay. Okay.
yeah, it was like
Great.
it was an interesting interview because he's 22 and I'm 58, and there was an adult in the room, so it was interesting.
Oh, well, that's good. You need that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't me. But so that's what I want to say. If you're
Oh,
looking
next week is Joe's birthday.
all right, we got to do something for Joe next
You gotta
week.
do something. You should go take him out to lunch or something. It is. I'm getting my calendar. Next Thursday. Next Thursday is Joe's birthday.
Next Thursday, I have meetings I'm doing sales all day, so I'm going to restaurants. Hey, if you're a restaurant out there and you want to be on the show, it's great promotion. It's really fun to talk about you, your restaurant, your background, things that are important to you, why you cook the way you do, the kind of products you use, anything. If you want to talk about yourself, come on the show. You can give us a call, 732-336-1040. That's right, 732-336. I like this voice, 1040. Just like your tax form, the 1040 tax force. Just give us a call or text us, and we'd love to have you on. Or you can reach us at dave@cookingsomethinggood.com. Or if you have questions for any of us, myself or Andrea or Joe, just right there in the comments. If you're watching this on Facebook, right there in the comments. If you're listening, go to Facebook. Or go to Instagram or go to
That's
YouTube.
right. That's
Or you
right.
can text us again, 732-336. What's the rest of it, Andrea?
1040.
You got it. Andrea Jorgensen, Sunapee to Seattle. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. And we will talk to you next week. We'll plan something. We'll be in touch during the week. We'll plan something for Joe's birthday.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
All right. Until next time. Hey, we're back. And next, as promised, we have a gentleman who works in, as I have described, the world's most important industry. That is the pastry industry. Tab Volpe, executive chef at Harvest. Welcome to Cooking Something Good. Thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And of course, he freezes up on the opening. That just.
Oh, I'm right here.
All right.
I'm right here. Sorry.
We're
Service might be a little bit weird.
We're all going to try. I'm going to start from the beginning, okay? 3, 2,
Okay.
1. Tab Volpe, Harvest Restaurant, Cambridge. Take 2. Hey, we're back. And next, as promised, we have a gentleman who works in what I consider to be the most important industry in all the world. Yes, the pastry industry. What's more important than pastry? Nothing, in my opinion. Tab Volpe, you're the executive chef at Harvest. We've been talking about what an amazing place it is. Welcome to Cooking Something Good. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm looking very forward to this, and I can't wait. Thank you for having me.
It's going to be fun, and it's believe me, there's nothing to it. My computer now wants me to align my printer. Why do printers have to be?
Of course it does.
Why do printers have to be? You know those printers be just turn on, turn off, and print the damn thing. I don't understand printers. They drive me nuts.
No, it has to. It's based on mood.
I agree. It's crazy. So, hey, you have a lot of experience, but before we get into all of that, I have to admit, I have not focused on this show as much as I should have. And surprisingly so, in 2 years on desserts. And that's shocking because I'm the kind of person that it's a challenge to try to take my time and enjoy a dessert. I am like a Hoover. I love all things desserts. I mean, I try very hard and I just can't help it. And you were no help because the other day I had your espresso bomb when I was at Harvest.
Yes,
and
it's one of my favorites.
After I was done, all I wanted was 3 more, and I had already had a complete 3-course meal at Harvest. I mean, that's pretty good. Let me ask you, was there a moment, like a hallelujah moment? Because a lot of people go into cooking, and they say, it was a lifelong dream. Was there a hallelujah, like that moment where you said to yourself, "Oh, I want to be a pastry chef," or was that kind of a progression? Did you gravitate to that?
To be completely honest, and I get that. I honestly do get that question a lot. It's like, oh, like how did you start? Honestly, it was senior year of high school, and it was my guidance counselor literally was like, hey, it's almost at that point that you need to like start looking at colleges. And I was like, all right. I was like, I honestly really, really never thought about it, to be honest. I was kind of like a go. Yeah. And when it came down to it, I was like, you know what? Like the cliche is like, oh, it's like baking with my grandmother. And it's true. I did. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to give it a go and give it a try. And when I tell you, I swear to God, I only applied to Johnson & Wales for the pastry program and I got in for a shot. And then I did it on a whim, tried it out, and it was kind of like one of those, like, we'll see how it is for a year. Found out that first segment, I started off with classical French pastries, like right off the deep end. And I just found out that I was actually good at it, not to toot my own horn or anything like that. I felt like I was very comfortable, very good. And then it was just, I never looked back, and I just went off that and just put my head down and went. And now I'm 15 years into the industry. So it's been great.
It's been quite a ride. The Langham Hotel in Boston.
Oh, yeah.
You worked at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in number 9 Park. You're joined the Himmel Group, which everybody knows, a great combination of restaurants. Yeah. You saw, it says you oversaw all the baking and dessert programming for Chef Barbara Lynch's restaurant. We're talking big names here, right? You talk about Barbara Lynch, you talk about Himmel, you talk about big names. What was there another moment where you said in that, it's not bragging if you can do it, right? Was there that moment where you said, I'm really good at this? I'm not just good, I'm really good.
And it was never, and again, this is me just speaking for myself, and I know that a lot in the industry, there's a lot of big names and all of that. And it was more so I was just very, very comfortable in basically what I did on my day-to-day. And it was, I think I'm just blessed with the opportunities of who I worked with. I mean, I started off at the Langham. I was there, did my my 2 internships there during college, and then I had the opportunity to go to the Mandarin Oriental in Boylston, which happened to also have Bar Ballood, which was Danielle Ballood's Boston, I wouldn't say flagship, but Boston restaurant.
Mhm.
And then after that, I got an opportunity to work with Barbara, and I think the stars were kind of aligned a little bit, and I think it also had to do with, I mean, graduating Johnson and Wales too. After that, it was like pre-pandemic too. It was everyone that I graduated with. Also, sorry for the loud noises. I'm kind of in the middle of lunch service,
It's
so
a
if I gotta
restaurant. It's a
do it,
restaurant. We
not
get
do
it. Yeah,
yeah.
we get it.
And I think it was everyone that I graduated with, Johnson and Wales, kind of did their own things. They all started their own, like they started families. They went outside the industry and whatnot. And I was just, other than a few other close confidants in the industry, like I kind of just put my head down, and the stars aligned that I just got lined up with all of these like incredible chefs / establishments like my whole career, and I couldn't be more happy / grateful for all of it. It's been a hell of a ride, to be completely honest. So
That's fantastic. Hey, I'm part French, part Italian, part Polish. I'm big French Canadian influence. Je pense très bien, mes familles canadiennes, mon grand-père. I love French food. You're known for classic French desserts. Tell us from an ingredients perspective, and from a presentation style, and from a cultural difference, for a lack of better term. Let me ask you, how do the French differ from the Americans when it comes to desserts?
oh my god, I think that's a weighted question. I think,
know.
without, I'm not trying to, I think it's very clean cut. I think the French just have very clean, everything's clean lines, like from, not to say the American kitchens, but clean cut. It's eclairs. I know, like with trends and whatnot, I'm starting to see that a lot of like French patisseries and whatnot, they are starting to like branch off into the trends, but they stick to the classics. They know what works. They're not stubborn. They're just they know what works. They know what they like,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't differ from that. And they're not afraid to just stick to their guns. Whereas I feel like the American pastry side is very high on the trends.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you went through, like, I mean, I'm still kind of going through it, but like the Corona phase, like the eclairs, the verines, like all of that stuff. Like I know now everyone's kind of getting into like vinoiserie. So now everyone's doing like all the different types of flavors of croissants, and sometimes like it's good. For me, I'm very straightforward. So it's just like, I don't really like to do trends, to be honest. I kind of just like sticking to my guns, know what it is, and kind of go through like the motions and whatnot. But it's just very, just like straight to the point. And I think it kind of resonated with me a little bit, like the very just straightforwardness of the French, I guess, pastry scene, and just kind of going from there, and just kind of doing what it is, and trying to stick into my guns of kind of not trying to get onto the trends end,
Yeah, and I got to tell you something. First of all, we are stubborn, so you don't have to. You can. Oh
my god, absolutely.
We can be stubborn, but I'm the typical. I'm not. I think I'm typical, because sometimes I love those classics. I like. Just the way they are, and sometimes when somebody's throwing something at me that's really creative, especially when it comes to pastries, I think that's great. I mean, so I think I'm a cross of both, and I kind of get the sense that you can be both, which I think is great.
Yes, and I think what the other thing too, like for my values, I think, for not to like jump off the deep end and kind of get out of it. So I'm trying to prop it up while I plate a cheesecake. Is more so a lot of things are starting, especially since the pandemic. A lot of things are starting to, I feel like, not get away from like start to finish from scratch baking. I mean, you can buy puff pastry, you can buy like all that stuff. My thing is, I don't want to, especially with the newer generations of cooks, of chefs coming up, I don't want that to go on the wayside, because anybody can open up a box and pull something out and be done and done. Whereas if you take the time and all it in pastry does, from American to French to whatever, it's the time that you have to put into it. And then that's how you get the end results. And I feel like I don't want that to go away. And I think I'm trying my hardest to teach my staff and all that, of that you got to learn the basics, you got to learn the fundamentals of pastry. And I mean, there's no better building block and foundation than the French. I mean, everything's based off of the French for it. And then once you take that off, like, the world's your oyster. And I just try to tell basically everybody that works under me that, like, if you just give it time and you're patient with it, that it'll all work out.
Hey, we're gonna play a little game. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. I've been to Harvest. Love the food. I'm going to give you my complete meal. I've just looked at your menu again. I'm going to get something different than I got the first time around. I was in heaven, by the way, the first time around. And then I want you to recommend a dessert based on my meal choices. And if we match up, then I'm going to give someone a $25 gift card to Harvest. But if we don't match up, I'm going to give a $25 gift card to somebody at Harvest. So you have a lot less pressure than Chef Nick had on him. We were talking about breaking someone's house before. All right. So I've got to start with the monkfish liver pate. I mean, come on, you got to have it. I had the honeydew gazpacho the other day. It was really to die for. And I've mentioned this earlier in the show. This is one of my. I only have every 4 or 5 years. There's one of those restaurants where I go, oh my God, I would walk through a snowstorm from Worcester to Cambridge to go to this restaurant. And that's gazpacho was unbelievable. The Mad River Blue, you got to have a cheese plate. I loved it. And plus the Sound of Music theme there with the Von Trapp cheese. The Dable scallop ratatouille is going to be my main dish. I'm going to get a side of the blister green.
The scallop is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love that. That just sounded really good. I'm going to set the blistered green beans because I like that little kick that goes along with it. It kind of works in well with everything else. And then I'm going to get to drink. I'm going to get the monsoon season tequila mix drink.
Okay.
All right. So I've had this. Now I need a dessert. I've got
my God. About to pair it with it. My God. So you have that. I mean, if you're looking at it from the monkfish liver to that, oh my God, I would honestly say, oh my God, kind of on the lighter side, I would definitely do the raspberry tart.
Hey, that's what I chose. Yes.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Even if I didn't, I'd still lie and go, whoa, but I did.
No, because it is light, but it also has that kind of like kick of, sorry, I'm like one hand putting that on right now.
You did a great job.
It has that kick of the tarragon, so you kind of have that little like savory pop that, like, not everyone's really keen to kind of do it. Service pastry, please. That's great though. And
I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. A master's pastry chef.
I'm proud of me. You put me on the spot.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Well, I nailed it because you nailed it.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm so happy with myself. I can't get over it. I don't know what to do. Hey, I got to tell you, folks, I'm going to say it. I've been saying it all show long. If you are in the greater Boston area, and I mean from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Nova Scotia, you're going to want to drop into Harvest in Cambridge, right in Harvard Square. An amazing restaurant, and the food is great. The pastries are unbelievable. We've got executive pastry chef Tab Volpe. Tab, thanks so much for joining us, chef. And I look forward to being with you again real soon.
It's going to be great.
Hey, thanks for joining us. I can take these off. Thanks for joining us on Cooking Something Good today. We had a great show. Harvest, it's a restaurant in Cambridge. I've fallen in love with it. I think you will too. Special thanks to executive chef Nick Deutermeyer and also to executive pastry chef. His name is Tab Volpe, and they're doing some great work over there. If you love food and you want to try something and you're in the greater Boston area, it's in Cambridge. It's in Harvard Square. It is called Harvest. I think you're going to love it. Thanks as always to Andrea Jorgensen, Seattle to Sunup. Remember, I know it's early for this, but if you're thinking about the holiday season, go to our shop, csgbn.com. Go to the shop. By Cooking Something Good Broadcast Network, we've got some great gift ideas, including gift certificates. What better for that last minute gift or that office gift? Get them now, get them while they're hot. And we also have Jones barbecue sauce. They come in a nice little package of 3. The Jones sisters do a great job. Until next time, remember, food is fun, fun is food, and it's always foodie fun time here at Cooking Something Good. Bye now.